Good evening, Team Lifetree. It is always good to be here every Monday night, same time, same Zoom. And it's always good to see your faces and just be able to catch up a little bit. And I'm super excited tonight because one of my favorite family members is going to be sharing tonight, David Misener. And I think pretty much everyone knows David. He's super successful in LifeVantage and in many other things in life, and which I'll let him share what he wants to share. But I think most of us know David pretty well, and he has some really great information to share with us about how to get started in the new year. And I know I'm still focusing somewhat on that, making goals and things like that, writing them down. So David is going to share about getting your butt in gear. And it's about mindset and habits. So I'm excited to hear from you, David, and the time is yours, brother.
Thank you so much, Julie. It's always a pleasure to be on and to see everybody. If you've known Julie for even a little bit, you know how sweet she is, just humble and soft-spoken. But I'll tell you what, beneath that demure exterior is a spine of steel. And I got the chance to experience it a few years ago. I was really questioning. I'm like, I'm not moving as fast as I want to with LifeVantage, and I'm kind of plateauing, and I don't like it. And I'm thinking about, whether I should, just check out and put my energies into something else. And Julie said, just kind of matter of factly, she said, David, if God brought you into this, that's a discussion you need to have with him. Has he stopped, telling you to be a part of this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. I was just dealing with emotions and disappointment and, some disillusionment. And it's just like, feelings come and go. They fade and they wax in the way they wane. But, if God puts something on your heart, that stays there. He doesn't just put it there you know, until your feelings change. He puts it there for the long term, and so I'm so thankful for Julie, and a good friend, a good business partner, somebody who will tell you the truth and give you a kick in the seat of the pants sometimes. So thank you for that, Julie. Appreciate you, and what a blessing it is to be on here tonight. Um, as I was thinking about what to share, we had a great meeting in Kansas City together just a couple of days ago, Saturday, 2 days ago, and I spoke there too, and I wanted to share some of the same things. So this won't be doubling up on anybody who's here tonight. Uh, so when what I was thinking about as I was contemplating what I was going to say Saturday and tonight, I thought to myself, we perform best when we know what winning looks like. And it's different for everybody. Julie has a different perspective, picture of winning. Her understanding of winning for Julie White is it takes one form, and my picture for what winning likes takes a different form, just as it does for Cynthia, for Paul, for Christy, for everybody on here, every individual. Winning looks a little bit different. Now, there can be some commonalities, of course, that come through. Hey, Carol, glad you're back from your cruise with your boyfriend there, your arm candy. Wally, what a great guy. Glad you guys are back. We missed you on Saturday. So
I know. You look like you guys had a great time.
we
And
did.
sorry I'm tardy.
We that's all right. That's right. So we know we perform like so. If I have a crystal clear idea of what winning looks like for me in every aspect of my life, physically, cognitively, mentally, the way I perform and interact with people, my relationships, my marriage, my relationships with my children, my friends, all of that, if I have a clear picture of what that looks like, then I know, then I perform better. I just do because I have that vision of winning in front of me, and then all of a sudden, all my thoughts, words, actions, all begin to go in alignment with what that picture looks like. And so I want to encourage you Some people use vision boards, journaling. I try to do both. I love journaling because I can get all my thoughts out on paper, and God's always bringing stuff. He's always meeting me there. And then, so when I'm journaling or reading scripture, I'll have a notepad next to me so that if a fleeting thought comes in, I get inspired. I can jot that down and then continue journaling or reading scripture. So I don't have to, get sidetracked on all of that. I write it down. I'll come back to it later. Love that. I love getting inspiration like that. So I keep that separate. I keep a pad of paper, something to write with me at all times. Um, I want to show you. This is my planner. It's called the High Performance Planner. I've been using this for a few years. It's excellent. You can get it through Amazon or a bookstore. I don't know if they even have bookstores anymore. Maybe, Rhino, you remember you used to use bookstores. We use Amazon now mostly, Rhino.
Okay.
Yeah,
I still go to the bookstore.
I love the bookstore too. It's one of my favorite places. Um, so this high performance planner helps me, and it asks me different questions, such as one thing I can get excited about today. That's something that I ask myself in the morning, and think about what does it look like for you to have a good launch day. What I mean by that is what when you begin your morning, what things would you like to see happen that would help launch your day and set your day in the right motion? For me, it's drinking water right when I get out of bed, um, putting not resisting the urge to look at my phone for 20 to 30 minutes at least, so that I can have time with my thoughts. That's when God speaks to me the most, is when I'm just waking up, like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock if I'm sleeping late. And then it's like my mind is just ready. It's like a blank slate for the Lord to begin to speak to me about. And then I've got my piece of paper right there. So, I mean, he's always inspiring me with different things to say to somebody, to nurture a relationship. I can remember, I don't always do this well, and there's been times where I knew that the Lord was saying, you need to invest in this relationship by reaching out to this person, and you just need to water. Flowers grow where you where you sprinkle the water in your garden. And so sprinkle water here, sprinkle water there. And there are times where I knew I didn't do what the Lord was prompting me to do, and then some kind of conflict arose in that relationship shortly thereafter. And if I had nurtured that relationship beforehand, that conflict would not have happened, or it would have been much easier to get through. But, distance and isolation tend to breed conflict sometimes. And so we're social people. God created us to interact. It's not good for man to be alone. And so he creates, we're social creatures. And so the extent to which we nurture our relationships, we just function better. We think better. We operate better. Our health is better. It's proven that if we have a good support system, meaning good relationships in place, we thrive better, especially as we get older. We need those relationships, so that interaction. Rhino, write that down. Um, so we perform best when we know what winning looks like. And so, what does winning look like to you? Just take 10 seconds and just jot down something. I always come to these Zooms with something to write with, because I always get inspired to do something. And so, what does winning look like to you? Do that tonight before you go to sleep. Write it down. Just write, even if it's just a couple of sentences or a few phrases. What does winning look like to you? What would you like to see happen this year in 2026 that would make that you would get to the end of it, where 11 and a half months from now, you'd say, this has been a good and successful year. Not everything has happened the way I hoped it would, but I got some really good things accomplished this year, and my relationships are better. My finances are better. My organization, my health is better. My ability to think and interact with people has been better. Those are great goals to have. So what does winning look like for you? Okay, what things now there's what things can I control to make that happen? Um, So I can control, can I control if somebody wants to hear what I have to say about oxidative stress and being able to increase their body's ability to reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days and up to 70% in 120 days? What if they don't want to hear that? Oh my gosh, is that just going to blow my day or my week away? No, no, I can't control that, but I can control if I even talk to that person, if I ask them, if I engage them in such a way that they trust me and know that I care, and know that I'm sincere. I'm not just trying to sell them something, that they're willing to share their pain points with me. Pain points about health or wealth or relationships or different things like that. And one thing I've learned in this business especially is that I have to offer something of value. I can't expect someone to want to listen to me or spend time with me if I'm not giving something of value, if I'm not interesting, right? And how are we interesting to people? What's everybody's favorite thing to talk about? Go ahead and jump in.
Themselves.
Themselves, bingo. Julie, you get a gold star. Themselves, we all like to talk about ourselves. That's our favorite subject, right? And we love to think that we that people are interested in us. And so one of the ways that I can be interesting to people is to be interested in them. What makes their hearts come alive? You ultimately, I want to know what the people who mean the most to me, I want to know what makes their hearts come alive. What is it that makes that fuels their hopes and dreams and would make their lives successful. And then how might I be a part of that? I might not. I might be a small part. I might be a bigger part. I don't know unless I ask. And so I I can become more interesting by expressing interest in what other people are interested in, like themselves, right? So I can control that. I can control how I engage with other people. Eric Worre talked a few years back. He came and spoke at one of our Life Vantage elite. Oh my goodness, what did we used to call it, Julie? It's changed over the years.
Academy.
Yeah, elite academies. Um, and anyway, one thing he said is that he always set goals, right? He would always set them. And people would say to him, Eric, those are crazy goals. You're being unrealistic. That's not an attainable goal. And his mindset was, if I set my goals here, I'm probably going to get to here, right? But if I set them here, I might get to here or even here. I might not reach them, but if I set my goals higher, I'm going to have a natural tendency to be shooting for this. I have this in the back of my mind is where I want to go. And so if I set a high goal, it might seem unrealistic, in some people's eyes. It might seem unrealistic to me. But if I set it here, I'm much more likely to get higher than if I set a realistic goal of here and then I get to here, right? You see where I'm going with that? So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God has put within us the desires of our heart, all the good things that are within our heart that we desire, all those good things He's put there. He has not put them there, to just mess with us and say, oh, you're never attaining your goals. It's we have this dissonance within us, that this of we are created in the image of God. And there will be a day when we have a resurrected brain, a resurrected body, resurrected taste buds to experience the fullness of this life. And until we reach that, we're feeling this dissonance that we're not quite making it. There's something that's not quite right. And that's good. That's a good thing to have, as long as we're focusing on the Lord, the one who put it there, as the one who can help to bring it about within us. And so we are so much more capable. I have a high level of justice. I want to see justice happen in this earth, and many of you do as well, I'm sure. And but no one wants to make things right more than he does, right? And so, but I live with this desire for justice, and sometimes I can get discouraged hearing the news, seeing what's going on in social media, just watching people in the grocery store parking lot. I can, sometimes it's like a jungle there, and I'm fighting for my life. Sometimes not literally, but I can get into a bad state of mind about humanity because there's a lot of evidence to support my hypothesis. And so, but when I around Christmas time, I was listening to hymns again, the old hymns, like the old ones, and like really old ones. I love those hymns. I'm just singing them and singing the richness and of the words and the theology and the scripture brought to life through song. And I just, it changed my whole mindset. And I'm listening to it and I'm singing it throughout the day and on my way to the grocery store. I go into the grocery store. I love everybody. Oh my gosh, because I'm looking at all of those people through God's eyes because he's been born again in my heart, so, and you know what I mean. And just I'm just feeling the life, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, God, this is how you see us, right? You see our sin, of course, but you see the potential deep beyond that. And so the more I cultivate that within myself, the more I love people and I want to talk to them. I want to be interesting, because when I have all of that going on inside of me, I am interesting and I have something that those people want. Not just a little yellow pill, but I have the answer for everything that ails them. It doesn't mean that I'm going to puke it all on them that day, but I'm going to express some genuine, sincere concern for what they're going through. And so that is attractive. The more attractive we are to people, the more likely they are to want to hear what we say, right? And it's so exciting now. So the other things that I can control, where my mindset, I can control the amount of sleep I get. If I want to sleep in, just go to bed earlier, right? Do you know what I mean? You still have to get up at 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock rock. Yeah, sorry. But I can I can just go to bed a little earlier, and then that's like I'm adding sleep. It's like I'm sleeping in reverse. You know what I mean? Backwards. Nutrition, I can change my nutrition. I can make better choices about what I'm putting, the fuel I'm putting in my body, right? I can look at the sourcing of that food. I can look at the combination, the different things I need. I love our P84. Oh my goodness, there's so 84 phytonutrients that we're not getting in the grocery store. I can do that in a drink. It's just phenomenal. And so I can control the gas that's going in my body, the nutrition, um, sleep, nutrition, work out. I can work out more. As I get older, our bodies were created for movement, right? The way that our anatomy is designed, we were created for movement. Our physiology was created for movement. Our neurology was created for movement. We have neural impulses firing throughout our body at lightning speed, and billions and trillions of interactions throughout the course of the day. I can control if my body is going to work better by sleeping, nutrition, getting good rest, and hydration, or I can choose not to. And it's like mortgaging. If I want to have that cheeseburger that's not got good meat in it and bad cheese and bad bun, I'm going to pay. It's like taking a mortgage out on your house. It's refinancing your house again and just adding more debt to it. You have to pay. There's a payment to be made on that. We've got a lot of freedom to do a lot of things, and our bodies are capable of absorbing a lot of abuse, but we still have to pay a price, right? And so I can control that. Do I want my mind and body to work better, or do I want to pay a cost for, a short-term pleasure, right? That cheeseburger looks delicious, but I know I'm going to pay something for it later. And especially as we get older, um, our body's ability to absorb the damage um, decreases. So um, I can. What about my lead generation and nurture? I can control that. I can control the amount of new people that I'm meeting. I can control how I'm nurturing those relationships. I can't control somebody's readiness or decision making. about whether they want to do the business or whether they want to increase the the physiology, the physiological capability and efficacy of their body's functions or not. I can't control that, but I can control how I'm nurturing that relationship, right? Um, Gratitude. Here's a huge one. So I learned a couple years ago, where I was challenged a couple years ago to begin your journaling by just saying three things that you're grateful for every morning, just writing those things down, right? And and that changes your mindset. And I was sharing some struggles and some things that were not going well in my life with a friend of mine, and he challenged me. He said, David, I want you in the next 24 hours to write down 100 things that you are grateful for. 100. And so I said, that should be easy. And so, I did that within 24 hours. And the first 30, pretty easy, right? 40, okay, a little more effort. 60, 75, it's getting harder. And it really challenged me, to do that. But I'll tell you what, after I did that exercise, it rewired my neurological pathways. I was going from thinking perhaps negatively about some things to I have so much to be grateful for, right? That attitude of gratitude, that feeling of not taking for granted the mercy and grace of God and how all of that and how that is all manifested in my life. I mean, it's powerful. It's powerful in changing that whole mindset that we have. So those are some things that we can control in terms of changing our mindset. Now, there's lots of skills and tools that are good for building this business, but if I am not changing this and my whole the way I interact with people, I can have all the skills, I can have all the tools in the world, I can have the best products and a great compensation plan, and it's not going to make a whole lot of difference if the messenger is not operating at a higher level. So, any thoughts or questions right now? That's about it for me.
Well, I love this, David, and I love that question. What does winning look like? And
Mhm.
I'm going to take some time, to really write that down and um, just get more specific about that. I love the journaling too. That's something that I want to be, just more consistent with, journaling. I like how you always have, paper with you. I always have it nearby, but I don't have it always in my bedroom and I'm kind of like you, I wake up and that's, when I really feel like I, hear God and things too. So, I want to, be working on that. But yeah, I think you said so many things and mindset is like, huge. I know it always impressed me when I heard Carrie Dickey, one of our lead consultants in LifeVantage, share that 90% of the business is mindset. And I just think there's so much truth to that. So yeah, thank you I took a lot of notes. Thank you. Does anybody else have a comment or question to
Yeah,
share
I
with us?
just want to say that I really agree with Dave's whole presentation, but the one that really resonates with me is how you look at people through God's eyes. I mean, like when you do go to the supermarket or anywhere, when you look at people, you just kind of look at them and you just naturally like them. Love is a big term, but hey, when I look around, I don't care who they are, and I like to smile at people and get their. Now I don't know if that's a business approach, and it could be, but it's one that makes people sure smile back, and I know that I help a lot of people by looking at them through God's eyes and in a very unjudgmental way.
That's awesome, Rhino. That's so true. I know that's true about you. And anybody that follows Rhino or Gary Tucker on Facebook, they're going to see that he's always doing what he just, I mean, he has posts and pictures of all the people that he meets. And I think he really does attract people on Facebook just by
Yeah.
being himself and being authentic and just being exuberant, happy, enjoying life. and loving people. So thank you, Rhino. We appreciate you.
One last thing, people really enjoy having their pictures taken. They say, "Oh, you're going to take my pictures?" I say, "Yeah, I'm going to take your picture." "Oh, you're going to make me famous?" I say, "Well, I'm not going to go that far, but I sure am going to have you on my Facebook wall."
Yeah.
I'm all, bye-bye.
And that goes back to, people, they like that kind of attention. Anybody else want to share tonight? Comment or question?
Um, I could share one thing. This just in the last week, I woke up and someone's name was on my mind, and hadn't talked to them in months. They had signed up to be a consultant a year ago, and I reached out to them and just it's like I'm not sure why you came to my mind, but you know, do you want prayer? Do you want to get together for coffee? Do you do you want to talk about health? The last time we had talked to us about health, and ended up meeting with her. She wants to get back on Protandem, and she came to church on Sunday. So it was like all of the above, you know. And so,
Wow.
but so just super cool that the Lord would just drop her name in my mind as I was waking, because um, it's just it seems like it's so much more fruitful when I hear something from Him.
That is so true. And I think so often, it's like you said, I think God dropped her in your mind. And sometimes when we even imagine ourselves doing something, or we imagine ourselves doing something for somebody or contacting somebody, reaching out to them. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you just, you're thinking about someone and it's like, oh, I should do this or whatever. Whether or not we follow through is really important, because I think, a lot of those times, or maybe most of those times, are, those things that are coming to our mind are from God. I think He is directing us, on who to reach out to, and who, who we can encourage and share with. So I think to really be in tune, with those kind of thoughts, and with our imagination, actually, with our imaginations. I think God puts things there for us to pay attention to. Thank you, Cynthia. Anybody else? Well, thank you so much, David. That was incredible. And, there's hopefully all of you have seen your Monday Momentum email. There's a lot of things to always be, checking into there. There's a lot going on with LifeVantage. Make sure you're checking in with Signal, and our Life Tree Facebook group, and all the other places. The hub has a lot of information in it. Krista put something for us to watch about the new product in Signal, 2 new products. So that would be helpful, because they're coming out really soon in February. So yeah, lots of things to be plugged into. So, all right. Well, thank you, David. Any last comments? I do want to say that, look at all those thumbs up. I do want to say that next week, we are having the last Monday of the month. We always have someone do a presentation that we can invite guests to. And we would like everyone to, this could be maybe a New Year goal you could think about for yourself, is to work at getting at least 1 or 2 guests on these Zooms at the end of the month, because it's an opportunity to grow your business. And Krista Harris is sharing this coming Monday. The information is posted at a variety of places. I know it's in Signal. There's a graphic. There's, information about Krista and what she's going to be talking about. So this will be a great opportunity to have guests on. Krista does she has a very unique way of presenting a LifeVantage, and I love how she does it. She's very authentic. If you know any moms that have kids, this will be great for them as well. I mean, it'll be great for everyone, but I think, that would be an especially good target. So I encourage you all to really put forth some extra effort to invite people to that Zoom, because it will be phenomenal, I'm sure. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much for joining tonight.
Hey,
Uh,
Julie.
Yes.
One thing real quick, just to piggyback on bringing guests, I need about 2 seconds heads up if you have a guest. That's it. 2 seconds. Don't think, oh my gosh, I haven't told anybody. Whether it's a Zoom or you want me to do a three-way call or a three-way Zoom, whatever. I don't need a lot of prep. I just need to carve out the time. I just need to make sure the time. But if it's one of these Zooms and you got somebody coming on, even if you send it in a private chat or a text, that's all the effort that is required, all the heads up that's required. So at
Thank you.
least for me. Yep.
Thank you, David. You're a true servant leader. Thank you so much. All right. Anybody else? Okay. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much. Great to see you and have a blessed, blessed week.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Julie. See
Bye.
y'all.
Okay. Bye-bye.